live.
What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with another episode of Money Monday, and we're gonna be dropping this in all the chats, in all the places. Even Nadia's back there, all excited. And guys, we're gonna talk about recruiting mistakes today. So listen, you should share this in your team chats. You should share this in all your groups. If you like growth, abundance, success, winning in business, rank advancing, helping your people rank advance. And now if you hate money, growth, success, abundance, and prosperity, don't share it. See what we did there? Anyway, I'm very excited because I've got the one, the only Michelle Churchill in the house. And guys, listen, we're going to talk about mistakes. And of course, we're going to give you solutions. We're going to give you ideas and concepts that flat out work. So how many of us are excited? Smash the heart button if you are. If you're really excited, smash the share button. And if you're a replay viewer, let us know where and when you're watching this, because I'm curious, I'm nosy, I want to know where you're coming in from. If you're new and you're seeing me for the very first time, drop the word new in the comments. If you're new to seeing Michelle, drop new Michelle in the comments. And I've got my other phone up here so I can try to pay attention to some of the comments as well. Maybe some of the questions, concerns, whatever comes through in the comments, we will do our best to respond to you. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited. Why? Because Michelle and I are launching our 14-day video and prospecting challenge here in a couple weeks. I think it's August 15th. So just a couple weeks away. And if you want to explode your business, this is the way to do it. In fact, I think right now it's perfect timing, because how many would agree that the summer is a little slow, right? People are focused on vacations, kids are out of school, things are going on, people are spending money. So when the summer's over, the people that worked through the summer are going to reap the benefits. Wouldn't you agree that in September, when kids are back in school, people are going to need to make up some of the money they spent? I mean, come on, it just makes sense. So if you're running right now, if you're working right now, you will be able to take advantage of the fall months, which typically November is the biggest month of the year. Who do you think crushes it the most in November? The people that are working in September and October, and then really the people that are working through the summer. So that's why we're doing this challenge, to help you close out your summer with a bang. And it's totally for anybody. Anyone can do it. And early bird pricing will go up, I think, Wednesday or Thursday this week. So if you're going to do it, you might as well do it now. Now, I want to introduce you to Michelle, because she literally is the top recruiter in our entire organization. I'm pretty sure in the entire world with our company. I mean, literally, she recruits double digits every single month, even outsells most of the people in the entire company. I think there's maybe one or two people in the world that sell more than her. So she's not just recruiting. She's not just selling. She's also duplicating success. And don't you guys agree that's kind of a big deal inside network marketing? In fact, Michelle, I hate to put you on the spot, but before we get into the training, do you have any idea what you've done the first 6 months of this year as far as personal enrollments, and then also personal sales?
This year?
Yeah, 6 months.
A
You had
lot.
to guess. I mean, I remember the first 90 days you were at like 96 recruits,
Yes.
right? And then you had like 200,000 in personal sales.
Yes.
So probably at least double the personal sales, like maybe 400-ish.
Yeah, because I don't do less than 50,000 in my customer pod each month. I don't recruit less than 10 people, and I've had months where I did 32.
How many would agree that's like, that's a new recruit every single day? That's a new recruit. 32. Now, listen, how many of us are just like, dude, I just want to get like 10 for the year? I get it. I understand. We all started stuck. Write that down. That's tip number one. Be okay with playing the long game. See, what's great about Michelle, she gets that, but she also has a lot of urgency. Like when she first got started, I still remember one of the first things you messaged me when you joined. You said, I'm used to reaching out. This is before she joined our team, right? This is like 2 years ago when she first joined. So this is like a month in. She's like, hey, I used to reach out to 50 people a day. I was like, what? I was really like, wow. She's like, should I keep doing that? I'm like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but I mean, sure, if you're doing it anyway, why not just continue doing it? If nothing else, to at least connect with people. And I think today, do you still reach out to that many?
Yes, I have at least a minimum of 50 people that I'm communicating with every single day, and I can't go to sleep unless it's done.
Now, I know some of us are going to go, oh my gosh, I have a full-time job. I can't do this. I can't do that. Listen, Michelle couldn't do that either when she first got involved in the profession. Was it 6 years or 7 years ago?
6 years.
6 years ago. So 6 years ago, she couldn't either. But now that she's full time, of course, she has more time. She has more people to reach out to. Again, we all start somewhere. 6 years ago, she didn't have these things. So this is kind of cool because you get to learn from someone that isn't like 16 years in. She's not 26. It's only 6 years. Like 6 years from now is 2030. Isn't that kind of weird? And if you think like 2030 is a long time away, okay, well, think about 6 years ago was only 2018. Uh-huh. Exactly. You're like, oh, 2018, that wasn't that long ago. Exactly. So 2030 is going to be here before you know it. So the truth is, even if you've been in the industry longer than Michelle, who cares? Today's a new day. Happy Money Monday. Let's go. Let's get serious. So we're going to talk about some of the mistakes to avoid, because I guarantee the reason why Michelle recruits double digits and her pod is always 50,000 plus, because she knows what to do, because she did some of the wrong things. She made some mistakes in the beginning. And a lot of us are guilty. Even at my level, there's still times where I'm like, oh, I messed that conversation up, or I forgot to follow up with that person, or I probably should have, like, how many of us sometimes we're in a hurry, someone asks you a question and you just answer it real quick, and you don't actually build a rapport. You don't actually like, hey, thanks for asking. How are you, by the way? Right? Sometimes because we're trying to go so fast, or we're trying to automate some of these processes, that we end up skipping over the relationship piece. The reason Michelle is crushing it, I'm telling you, I'm in her chats. I'm in all her prospecting chats with all her prospects. She follows up all the time, and she is very good at connecting, which is probably something we don't emphasize enough. So anyway, I'm excited to get into this training. I'm excited to drill you with questions, as I always do on these Money Monday episodes, these interviews with Michelle. So I know you guys are excited. Tell your faces, tell your teams, tell us in the comments, share, because it's going to be amazing. And for some reason, I don't see comments. Oh, there we go. Now I see comments. What's up, Sarah, Johanna, Lindsay, Raina? How we doing? Fired up, jacked up, and excited. So Michelle, first of all, thank you for being available. Thank you for being on. You're always amazing. You're crushing it every single day, every single month. And I know you inspire a lot of people. So thanks for being on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, all right, let's get into it. So first of all, maybe you could share with people like some of the mistakes first that you made in the beginning. And then we can talk about some of the mistakes that you see people in your team making, or you see other marketers in the field making. And I know we could talk all day about this stuff, so I'm excited. But get into some of those, like those big ones, the obvious ones that you made in the beginning. And then we'll talk about what we see other people doing.
All right. So for the first, there was a big mistake, is that I would get inside my head and say to myself, this person doesn't need an additional stream of income. So I was judging a book by its cover. That was number one. So when people were signing up for the products, I was not asking if they were open to taking a look at how we earn an additional stream of income. So after doing a ton of trainings and being a part of challenges that, John hosts and video challenges, you have to really make sure that you're popping that question. So that was a mistake I was not making, because in even the last 2 years, there's been maybe 2 times where I know you're probably thinking, well, now they're not going to become a customer. You just want that sale to go through. But there's a reason why you really should pop the question. Number one, it plants a seed. That person now is forever, every day that they wake up and take that product, they're thinking about ways that they can earn an additional stream of income. And I feel like it makes them fall in love and believe in the product that much more. And number two, I'm telling you right now that the way I word anyone who's signing up, it's a very natural approach. If you know they're buying something, like say they're ordering a chocolate bottle of collagen, I know this is generic, but for an example in my company, all I'm saying is I'm like, that is an amazing flavor, great choice. I'm really excited for you. I'm curious, do you like money? Ha ha ha, like, no, could you use some extra money? I'm picky about who I choose to work with. And then I enter a compliment like, you're a nice person, you're a positive person, you already show up on social media. Would you be open to taking a look at what it is that I do if it doesn't interfere with what it is that you're already doing? So you're automatically kind of lifting it up a little bit by letting them know that this isn't going to interfere with their full-time job. This isn't going to interfere with them going to school. And I always give an out, if not, no big deal. I will tell you 8 out of 10 times it's a yes. Does that mean that they sign up as a social retailer right then and there? No, but it plants a lot of seeds. So that's number one. Just pop the question to every single person. Get in the habit, the negative thoughts of scarcity, have an abundant mindset. Okay. Play the victor, not the victim, and just do it as if it's a part of your job. If every single day you worked in a corporate job where you had X, Y, and Z, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's a part of the system. So when you look at this as a system, it all will play into itself. Number two, a huge one. And John saw this weekend. I sometimes try to automate my follow-ups for people wanting to be marketers. And then I voice noted, John saw Saturday morning, 6 o'clock, like, what's up? How's it going? I see something on the wall. Cute dog. I'm so excited for you. Hey, listen, there's a little bit of some urgency on this because we only have about 72 hours. But really, I have this intuition about you. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. But even when we partner together, it's going to be fun. We're going to help a lot of people. So I have to ask you, there's a promo on a scale of 1 to 10 so I can figure where they're at. 1 being not interested, 10 being like, show me the way. I love money. I'm nervous, but I can do nervous things. Let's do stand. And John saw I signed up 5 people over the weekend because they're like, okay, let's go. They hear your voice. They hear your excitement. They see that you actually care. But prior to that, we've been having a few promos that I've just been texting it. It's not the same when you actually send a voice message. And it is not hard. When we do three-way chats, I label all mine with fire emojis. So all I have to do in my search bar, which I didn't do, which is a bad mistake that I was doing prior to having this system down, was I wasn't labeling them. Now I can search fire emoji in the top search bar and all of them pop up. So I can just bam, 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 go right through them.
I love that.
Do it while you're having some coffee, be in a good mood. Don't do it on a bad day, and get in there and circle back to these people. It takes about 6 or 7 times, but every time you do it, I want you to envision a pumpkin seed inside of any type of seed. You can't see the roots that are underneath. Everything that you're doing matters. Everything that you're doing, that person is paying attention to, and they're watching you behind closed doors.
And wouldn't you agree, one of the mistakes is people don't even do chats. They try to recruit the people all by themselves, right? They try to do all the rapport building, question answering, pointing them towards the tools, and then also trying to be the recruiter, the mentor, the leader, the upline, and they do it all by themselves. I talked about this the other day. It's a big mistake. If you're not, look, Michelle doesn't need to put her prospects in chats any more than I do, but we both do every single time.
It's relatable. And honestly, that's another thing that was a big mistake of mine until I partnered with John and have the system that we have. You don't need to be starting three-way chats and being in here like, my product's amazing. All you do is, this is John. He's my business partner. He's #1 in our company. He's been in the industry for 20 years. He's seen the good, the bad, the ugly. He's so much fun to learn from. This is my friend Val. She's been in the industry for 6 years. She started doing this on the side of being a speech pathologist. She's got 3 kids under the age of 5. She crushes it. She loves it here. And then maybe one more person. And the second they share their story, you don't sit there and go, see how amazing this is? You ask your closing questions. So literally in the chat, I know a lot of people reach out to me. When John's in the chat with me, I'm like, hey, Brittany, how much extra per month would make this meaningful to you? Brittany shoots me back. Okay, perfect. So we can definitely help you with that. Would you say you're positive, coachable, willing to grow, and hungry for more? Because you need those characteristics. I don't care about your following. I don't care about how you create content. We all start at suck. No one comes out of the womb having a social media following. No one comes out knowing how to do videos. I didn't know how to do any of this. You guys actually are getting the tools that work, because I failed so many times doing it the wrong way that finally it led me to doing the right way. So I'm not in my chats like just conversating and being like, college in this and college in that. And then the third question is, you just reiterate, good, I'm glad you're positive, coachable, willing to grow, and hungry for more. The next step would be to get you started on a kit. Would you be open to me sharing information about that? Whatever, there's verbiage. We have a script. I never pull it up. And then you just show them the kits. You show them what you went with, and you close them, and you're on your way. Less is more. Okay, when they're in that chat, they're on it. I feel like some people that put me in their chats, they're not following the system. Mine's always the same, and John can say that. And then lastly, not having it in my stories every single day. There are new eyeballs on your stories. And an example is, We do a referral giveaway post every single month. And it's a great way to get prospects because what happens is, number one, put this post up for me. It's non-spammy. I'm going to get you free product credits. I'm going to handle everything. And then number two, you watch this 5-minute video. Now you got a second entry. So your chances of winning this is even more. I put that on my stories. I post it once a week. Every time I get a minimum of 7 people who drop some type of emoji to get entered in. I need to be more consistent. I couldn't imagine if I did that 7 days a week. I don't see enough going to your stories and seeing that you even have a miracle in your mouth. I don't starting on day 5 of this and you make $1.22. You're $1.22 more rich than you were when you didn't have this opportunity. So getting used to in your stories, showing something, or even putting words, you don't have to show your face, saying like, it's crazy to think that 6 years ago, I had $60,000 in debt. I literally didn't have Instagram. I didn't have TikTok. So you have more leverage than I do right now. And today I was able to pay for the veterans, at the Coney Island, the whole entire bill together, or I was able to, go get a massage, or I was able to pay off my credit card $100, whatever it is, even if it's $10. There's something you couldn't do before. I'm so grateful I said yes. Those people are wondering, what did you say yes to? Mm-hmm. They don't know because now you're curiously showing up through social media and you're doing curiosity marketing. When you have a product, you don't want to tell them what that product's going to do. You want to have it on there like, this is an absolute game changer. Draw them in. I'm so grateful that I said yes. It is going to eat them away. They're going to wish that you put it on there. So now when they're on your stories every single day, you're having new conversations and inviting them to see it. And if you're not, that's rude because they're seeing it and they're wondering. They're not going to reach out to you. They're just as afraid to reach out to you as you are to reach out to them. So those are my biggest tips when it comes to recruiting and prospecting. You need to realize it does not happen overnight, and it is a process, and it is following up, and it is planting seeds, and it is inviting them like we have every Saturday at Call at Noon. So how smart is it every single weekend or right before the weekend and be like, hey, we got this call tomorrow. This is the call that I hopped on that made me go from a 1 and 2 of wanting to get started to a 10, let's grow. Tune into it, be a fly on the wall. No one's going to see you. Listen, and then circle back and let me know what you liked best about it. People actually get on and listen. And John's really good at doing that. Like really, really, really good. He does it on what he calls Follow-Up Friday. So those are my biggest tips and biggest tricks for doing it. And you're not going to become amazing at doing it until you actually do it. So you have to just get out there. You have to just rip the bandage off, and you have to know how you get good at doing something is by doing it. You're never going to get good by watching me. I know some people go on my live videos where I share my backstory of how I did have, it's like, you're never going to get good at it by trying to do it. Just go do your own thing. Go talk about truly why you got started. Go talk about the emotions that went into it. Go talk about the reasons why you said no and it took you so long to jump in. Like the more you can share with people and they can relate with you, the more they want to join you.
Yep. Yep. And this is exactly why we're doing the 14-day video and prospecting challenge, because we're going to challenge you. We're going to train you. We're going to give you a lot more detail and everything Michelle just covered inside that 14-day video and prospecting challenge. I believe we're doing 3 separate trainings. We also have a VIP chat for the VIPs. And of course, prizes. I mean, it's going to have like a tracker, everything you need to keep track of your points, going live, doing reels, putting yourself out there. And it's a video and prospecting challenge, right? So we want to help you get better at recruiting, prospecting, follow-up, like all the things within that 14 days. It's only 14 days. And again, to close out the summer so you can roll into the fall with a bang. What else do you see as far as people making mistakes? Like, because obviously you enroll a lot of people, right? Do you see people maybe getting overwhelmed easily? Do you see people just living in that fear? Or what is, maybe they only get excited for like a day or two or a week, they do the stuff, and then 2-3 weeks in, they're not. What do you see besides what you covered with all these new people you're enrolling? Because you're mentoring people. So, you see the people that are taking action. You see them rank advancing and growing. You see them working, which is also, by the way, why I love our system. Because at the end of the day, if you're not adding people to the groups, you're not posting, you're not prospecting, you're not putting me in chats, you're probably not going to grow a business doing none of the above. But what would you say that you see people doing or mistakes people are making getting started?
Yeah, and in regards to the prospecting challenge, like you guys are literally going to have all the closing questions. You're literally going to have these scripts. So if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're like, I don't know what to say, I couldn't catch what she said fast enough, I don't understand. That's why we do this, so that you have those 14 days to have access, especially the VIP questions. Like
Yeah.
right now, we're in a rank up, bank up challenge. I challenge them to be a part of the VIP. And 4 times a week, I'm sending them stories, because guess what? Just like John said about fear, people aren't doing this because they're afraid. If I can give you something and you start posting it because you believe in me and you see that what I'm doing is working, it gives you the courage and the self-esteem to build. And sooner or later, you're going to be doing it by yourself. You're going to be sharing it with a team. Because here's how you're probably thinking. You don't think that you are good at what it is that you do, so you don't think that you could lead someone. But the problem is, if you can tap root and you can find someone who's better at doing this than you are, it's a miracle, and it happens all the time. If you can just get people to pop the question, John just posted, and I always like, what would you do with an extra $500 if you never had to recruit a blah, blah. I mean, people are yes, 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 yes. Share a video, and people are like, okay, I want to try it. And that person comes in and freaking just barrels over you. And that's the beauty of this industry. They can.
Yep.
And all of a sudden your business can go from 0 to freaking hero just because you did it. But it doesn't happen overnight. It has to realize, like, there are red apples out there. I mean,
Yep.
look at John and I. We were talking for like 9 months. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. You have to realize that the people that you have that are out there, they also could have someone who's absolutely incredible to you. And you can't have the fear. My first question to you is this in this industry, and I'm dead serious, and I probably do more personal development than anybody in this world, is the personal development aspect. I mean, I remember getting started and saying things out loud to John and other people in the company, like, you know, I'm not good at that. I can't do this. I don't say it like you. I'm not a natural. It's like, swallow those words, spit them out, put them in the toilet, envision them going down, and like, don't talk like that. If you want to recruit 5 people, my number one question to you would be, how many times since the beginning of this month have you said out loud, I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I recruited 5 people in the month of July? How many times have you actually written that down? How many times have you actually closed your eyes and envisioned it? Because if you don't believe it, it's never going to happen. All the statements that I've been telling to myself, things didn't happen until months later. But what's really weird is when you start speaking that into yourself, little things start to happen where you're like, aha moment, or this person this, or all of a sudden I'm learning how to lead a conversation and invite them. But when you're not doing that part, your mind is being taken over by past things that have happened in your past. You can't, you have to retrain it. And that's the beauty of this industry, is that literally I'm such a better person than I've ever been in my entire life of living. Because when those negative thoughts come in, I stop, I drop, I put on an Audible book, and I let my mind listen to that, even if I'm not like fully engaged. Because sometimes you might find yourself scattered. You might feel overwhelmed when you're first getting started out. The first thing I want to say is, you'd rather be overwhelmed, like Mr. Milton says, than underwhelmed any day, right? In anything in this world that you start brand new, whether you go to a gym, you get signed up with a trainer, you start a new job. I don't know why people think this industry is different. You're overwhelmed. It's a new job. How has it been? It's crazy. I started this new job, and Sally Sue's in soccer and this and that. So it's normal to feel overwhelmed. If you honestly didn't, I would be concerned and be like, that's not normal. So you're normal, but you have to push through it. And by pushing through it, it's being consistent and intentional with personal development. Like, seriously, I would ask you, like, for the last 14 days, when and how much time? Like, I can tell you every time I'm in my vehicle driving, poor Belly's even like, turn this stuff off. It's Go for No. It's The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It's The Compound Effect. It's the Eat the Frog. And every time I listen and read, right now I'm reading Atomic Habits again, I get little different pieces and things start to click. So you have to be pouring into yourself, and you have to believe it before it actually happens. I think that's something when people get started off, I don't need personal development. I don't have time like that, because that's how I was. And you do have time. That gives you even every more excuse to make the time to do it. Just like when people say they can't go to events because they can't afford it. You need to be at that event. You need to be at that event. Like
Can't afford not to go.
110%. Figure it out. My first event that I ever went to, I went into my closet and started taking shirts down and selling them on eBay. Where there is a will, there is a way. It's crazy. We'll all go pay. I paid $60,000 for my degree in HR to go to school to learn how to do HR. I ended up doing it for 1 year, but here we don't want to learn, where you literally get to learn how to build a massive bank account. And it's not just John. There's thousands of people out there who have followed his system, who have followed the system, failed forward, started at suck, and are now extremely successful people.
That's
It's
right.
So I look back at how I used to not be able to follow up. And the only way you get good at it and how I used to start conversations is just to do it. You're just lucky that you have Chat GPT in your pocket now, because you can literally be like, hey, I'm in the middle of a conversation with a prospect. She said this, I'm saying this. Sometimes I do it because someone's like, hey, my mom just died. My dog has cancer. And I'm like, I don't even know how to say, like, what do I say to this person? Because I don't understand how they feel. Chat GPT gives it to me and they're on my way. So you have everything that you need to leverage. You just got to realize that, like, the sacrifices I made in this business was me one time in my life working a full-time career, being a single mom, and working 2 part-time jobs. And I tell you that every single day, even on vacation, even on weekends, 50 minutes a day, this business was worked. I would go to bed going, tomorrow morning, I am waking up at 5 a.m. and from 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., I'm doing a half of a power hour. Tomorrow night from 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., you have to show up and tell that to yourself. It's not, I'm going to try. I hear that from people like, I'm going to try to do your power hour. Like, what the heck does that even mean? You're going to try. When I go to bed at night, I know the next day what time I'm working out, what time, everything should be laid out, because your mind will be that much more driven when you sit down to actually do it. That's how I used to do 50 conversations, invites a day, and I would do it in 44 and a half minutes. That was my best time because I was intentional. I didn't have distractions like notifications going off. I didn't get all bogged down when I first got started. Another thing with this is you get started and you try to learn all the things. Okay. Just get started with the launch post. Oh my God, I did a thing. Get it out there. Get out there with a product, maybe post, and get that out there and start working with those people. I'd say and I also would say one of the biggest mistakes that I see also is like trying to recreate a new page. I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, your warm market, if you were to own a $50,000 restaurant, the first people you're going to invite to come into your restaurant are going to be your friends and going to be your family. Right. So I always think, do you know how many people my friends and family have led me to? Because I've leveraged their network. Because I went to their network and I was like, oh, they know them and they see I'm a mutual friend with them. They automatically feel like they can know, like, and trust you. So you need to realize that that warm market isn't just for you to spam them, but it's truly 100%. If you keep showing up and you have belief in this, those people believe in you and they trust in you. The problem is you don't ever reach out to them and ask them. You don't ever start new conversations with them. You don't ever, when they ask how you're doing, talk about how much success you're having and how amazing you feel, because you have in the back of your mind that you are spamming them. And that's self-sabotaging not only yourself, but your business and that other person.
It's so true. If you launched a restaurant or any business, you're not going to keep it a secret. Like, I'm going to be a secret agent. I'm going to go start a whole new account. And it's like, why? Makes no sense at all. You should absolutely start with whatever platform you already have a network on. And if it's just Facebook, perfect. I love what you talk about ChatGPT. I think about when I first got started in 2001, there was no social media. There was no, let me post about my new business. No, I had to call people. It wasn't even, you couldn't even text message people yet. I don't even think text messaging was a thing in 2001. So yeah, I mean, look, we have all the tools at our disposal, and most of you probably have at least Facebook. Most of you probably have a couple different platforms, and you have some followers. You have some people already inside your network. Now, of course, you should also proactively reach out to people but this is the beauty of marketing. Like, if you get really good at the marketing piece, you may not be able to keep up with all the people that are asking you for information, that are requesting info. But the best thing to do is both reaching out to people and the marketing, right? Posting and prospecting leads to profits, baby. So I love it. And I do think a big mistake is that people try to wing it. You kind of mentioned it, right? They don't have a schedule. They don't have a plan. They're just kind of doing it when they feel good, when they think about it. That's not how you build a profitable business, especially in this day and age. Everybody is so busy. And guess what? We all have the same 24 hours. It's what you're doing with the time. It's being intentional, creating a schedule, being organized. People say, oh, I suck at, the follow-up, or I'm not very organized. Like, okay, well, you should probably make it a priority. How many of you have kids? Let me know in the comments if you have kids, right? You have kids go, oh, I forgot to do this and I forgot to do that. It's like, did you set a reminder in your phone? No. I go, okay, well, you didn't make it a priority. That's the problem. You did not make it a priority. Same thing with working out, eating healthy, like have a plan. You can't just come home after work and, like it's like 8:30. You're like, kind of hungry. I wonder if I should cook something. No, you probably had a plan when you got home from work to cook dinner at a certain time or order out or whatever it is, right? Uber Eats, go out to a restaurant. The point is the same thing in your business. The difference is with food, it's like your body reminds you like, yo, you didn't eat, I'm hungry, right? In this business, you have to get that structure in place. And even though you're starting your own business, it really is like a job. It really is like a job because you have to have hours of operation. You have to have a plan in place and you got to stick to it. And the personal development piece is probably the biggest thing, sometimes because after you do this for a while, you kind of forget how much you sucked in the beginning. Like I cannot even tell you how much I complained. I cannot even tell you how many excuses I made. I mean, my network sucked. I had no money. My people didn't have money. I didn't have confidence. I wouldn't do any public speaking. I mean, I had so much stinking thinking. And if it wasn't for all the events that I went to, because back then, I'll be honest, I never really read a book. Still to this day, it's terrible. They say leaders are readers. I'm more of a listener. I'm more of a watcher. So I would go to these events and they would blow my minds. I would listen to CDs. You guys remember CDs? I know, CDs. Anyway, I would listen to CDs and it would be so motivating to me to listen to Tony Robbins or Danny Johnson or some of these people I used to listen to way, way back in those early years. I can't even remember the CDs I used to listen to. I remember Brilliant Compensation with Tim Sales. I watched that video probably hundreds of times because I would watch it with my prospects, and by the way, that was a VCR. We'd have a VHS tape, pop it in the TV, and I would sit there in the room watching Brilliant Compensation with Tim Sales, where we would talk about the perfect business model, network marketing. So this was the stuff I had to feed my brain, right? There's no way you're going to grow a business if you don't grow yourself first. That is top priority. But also don't become a personal development junkie where all you do is listen to all the things. You're just a freaking know-it-all. This is one thing I'll say about Michelle and Nadia for that matter. Nadia will study a book. So she'll listen to it on Audible. She'll also buy the book. She'll go through it twice, 3 times, highlighting and organizing and implementing the things that she thinks are the most important takeaways. As an example, she's going through the Gary Vee book for the second time now, Gary Vee's new book, and she listened to it on Audible already. Like she consumes information. She consumes knowledge. Michelle's the same way. Why do you think they're crushing it? Why do you think they're such good marketers? Do you think it's because they're half-assing it? No, they are very particular. They know what they want and they're going after it. And that's your freaking problem. You don't know what you want. You're not committed to it. You know how many weak people I see right now? I'm going to call it out. I see leaders that are weak. Like they just don't have the energy or they're not as confident or people aren't responding like they once did. My team is dead. Build a new team. What is this nonsense? Like, I guess because I did it in the old school day and the things we had to go through back then were 1,000 times harder. We didn't have unlimited resources on social media or access to people. Like I had to build new teams all the time. My whole team, I can't even tell you. I was in this one company for 7 years and I've talked about them a lot over the years, but it really is like where my MLM PTSD comes from because I put 6,000 people in that deal in 7 years. And I cannot tell you how many people over the years, like I was literally recruiting people because I had so many people quitting. I had so many people quitting, walking out the back door. I'm just trying to put new people in the front door. So I'm constantly like plugging these holes and they had all these structure requirements. I'm like recruiting all these people. Imagine, right, Michelle, you could actually do this. But thank God you don't have to. Back then in that company, there's so many structure requirements. So I'm like recruiting all these people and then I'm putting them in all these dead legs because I had all these people quitting. I'm like, oh, I need people over here. I need people over here. Oh, I got to put people over there. So I'd have to recruit these amazing people and put them in the deadest legs I had. Like it is just fascinating to me But again, we're in a different time. We're in a weird economy. But guess what? It's separation season. It's separation season. You want to step it up. You want to become a top dog. You want to be one of the top people in your company. You want to make a big impact. You want to create a phenomenal legacy income. You're going to have to step into your leadership capabilities, because there's a lot of leaders that are stepping out. I'm done with MLM. Like, okay, we'll see. Like, these people have a better idea, a better solution. Or you see the people that have like the shiny ball syndrome, right? It's like they quit a company 6 months ago and they're already on the fourth one since they quit. That's not leadership. That's a gambler's mentality. Like, let me just hope to get lucky, because they can't build a real business without social media attention, without pulling people from one deal to another. What I love about Michelle is she is attracting some high caliber people, but she's also attracting people who have never done this before, and she's helping them win if they're coachable, if they're willing to do the things she's teaching them to do. That's just the reality, man. Like, this is not easy, but it is worth it. So I want you to master these skills. I want you to sign up for the challenge. We already dropped it in the comments. You could probably see it. Also, if you're driving or just you didn't see the link in the comments or in the description after the video's over, drop the word challenge. Drop the word challenge, and we will respond to as many of you as possible. Or you go to mylifestyleacademy.com/challenge. And I'm telling you, I've seen what Michelle's been doing with her power hours, literally spoon feeding people exactly what to do every single day. It is insane how much she helps her team. Now she's helping people in all these different companies. This is why I keep having her on my show. And this is why I've launched different programs with her, because I've seen what she's done. And it's one thing to do it, but she's doing it in a duplicatable way. And she's very structured. She really is saying the same things over and over and over again in her videos, in her follow-ups, in her launching. Like, it's the same thing over. That's a system. You know, people that have a franchise will tell you that's why they bought into the franchise for hundreds of thousands of dollars, not because they can make money but because it's already laid out. It's already a proven system, right? It's a system. Like, if you buy a McDonald's franchise, you have to go to Burger University. Yeah, it's a real thing. You go to Hamburger College, whatever, and you have to learn how to, like, you know, run the fryer that's on the left. It's always on the left. You ever notice that? They got the golden arches out front. Could they sell pizza? Sure, but they don't. Not a part of their system. They sell them nasty nuggets, right? Like, they do things a certain way. And you might say, ew, McDonald's. Oh God, what a bad example. It's the #1 company in the world as far as like real estate ownership. I don't know if you guys know that. They own more real estate than like any other company in the world, because they're in like all the best spots in the world. And then they franchise out these places. Anyway, the whole thing is, it's a system, right? That's what's so genius about what we do. Is it's systematic, it's duplicatable, but you can't delegate and outsource the relationship building, the mentoring. Like, all these little things are such a big deal. Like, sure, you could probably with AI these days, like, use AI to make your videos, but at the same time, people that go live, people that do the reels, people that are showing their face. I know you can do the faceless stuff. I get it. But I'm just telling you, when you show up in your stories, when you show up on your videos, your lives, your reels, whatever, this is why we're doing the challenge. Hello. This is the effectiveness of showing up. But then on the back end, the biggest mistake that I see people making, outside of everything else we covered, is they're not reaching out proactively. They're not reaching out to those followers. They're not reaching out to those friends. They're not. I don't want to cold message people. Like, these are not random people. These are people you're already friends with. They're already following you. Why build up a new following if you're not going to talk to ones that are already following you? So get in on the challenge. Drop the word challenge if you haven't already. For some reason, I can't see comments, but I also saw my team drop the link in the comments. And like I said, we'll change the description once this is over. Michelle, any final thoughts about the challenge or anything else we covered? I know both you and I could talk all day about this, but we get excited because we really want to impact all of you and inspire all of you to go out there, get over yourself, and do amazing things, because you don't have a real business until you build a team. If you're trying to build an empire, you want to build a long-term business, a legacy income, you must master this conversation of recruiting and duplicating.
And you have to be willing to pivot. When you're in this, look at how much John has pivoted from day one of starting the industry back 20 years ago with Nadia. Like, everything they've done, they weren't just like, nope, we're stuck in our own ways. We're going to keep doing home meetings because it works. Nope, we're going to do this. Nope. I bet you they'd be making 10 times less. Yeah, they might be successful, but they wouldn't be as successful as they are now. So when I met John, I'll never forget when I got started. He's like, you have a TikTok, right? I'm like, heck no, that's for like 10-year-olds. What did I do? Pivot. TikTok is where I make almost all of my money. Like, I'm obsessed with TikTok. I can't even believe I ever had those thoughts about TikTok. Like, it's a platform for the e-commerce and it's proven to work. So right now might be your time where you're not doing live videos. You know what? It's time to pivot. You're in an area where you have someone. I already have list of captions that like blow up and go viral. You say this, you do this, like you're going to know exactly what to do. You might stumble over your words a few times, but that's okay. Post it because you're relatable. I will do a video twice ever. I'm just like, if I choke over my words, it is what it is. And that's what this is going to be. And the prizes that we have in the community that's going to be in this challenge is literally going to keep you on your toes. You have a 76% more likelihood of being successful at something when you're doing it in an accountability format. When you have systems and you have a support team to be like, hey, I'm in this video challenge. You know how many people reach out to me and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. And I'm like, here you go. Because they're doing the things, they're learning, they have someone in their back pocket. So when they do get stuck, they can stop. So it's time for you in this season. This is where we are. We're on the e-commerce and social media, even if we start doing faceless, which again, John said going live, but we're going to teach you that as well. And the early bird is going up, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. So go in there right now, get in there, get in the group, and let's freaking grow, because it is going to be a game changer for your business come October, November, and December, because those are some of the busiest months for every company. That's when people are wanting to spend money. They're getting off of the summers. They're getting off of doing this and doing that. And their kids are getting back in school and they are ready to spend. And they're ready to come do this with you because they're looking for some extra money because their kids are back in school and now their schedule has freed up a little bit. All the parents who were staying at home with their kids who have kindergartners going full time now have nothing to do. And you have a miracle in your mouth. So get a part of that challenge. I hope this was meaningful. Tag your team. Like, get this out to them. Send it to them. Be like, this is really inspiring. Tell them when you listen to it. I listened to this while I ran 3 miles today. Check it out. It's really inspiring. Share it with someone you know who's out there struggling, who could use what it is that we are all doing, and go out there and do your personal development. Thanks, John, for having me.
You're awesome. Happy Money Monday, y'all. Get in on the challenge. We're excited. Jacked up, fired up as usual. We will see you in the challenge. Hasta luego. Bye, Michelle.
Bye.